You are listening to audio from Western Meadows Baptist Church. Here at WMBC, we are disciples of Jesus who make disciples through the teaching of Scripture, prayer, and living together in community. If you would like to listen to more, go to our Apple Podcasts or to our website, wmbc.church. Please do not edit, copy, or sell this material without prior permission of WMBC. Thank you for listening.
Hello and welcome again to Reading Together. Throughout the month of October and a little bit into November, we will be reading one last book together for 2021. And it's called A Little Book on the Christian Life by John Calvin. And so now, the previous two books that we've read together were both written by Puritans, which I think that the Puritans get a particularly bad rap today. Have a bad stigma attached to them, and so hopefully our little sampling so far that we've done, and hopefully we will do more Puritans in the future. In fact, that's the plan for next year as well. Thomas Watson and John Owen, I hope that that's given you a better taste for what the Puritans truly believed and how scriptural they truly were. But John Calvin was not a Puritan. He was actually a reformer who lived about 100 years before the Puritans. So the Puritans lived in generally in the 1600s, and the Reformers, the Reformation, happened in the 1500s. So let's give a little bit of a background, a little bit of a history about what exactly the Reformation is, and why John Calvin is an important historical figure, and especially an important theological figure. So the famous inciting event of the Reformation was when Martin Luther nailed the 95 Theses to a church door in Wittenberg on October 31st, 1517, which is why many Protestants still call October 31st Reformation Day, right? And why we're studying this book in conjunction with the end of October. But although Luther only intended to initiate a debate over errors that he saw, the writing was printed and distributed as a pamphlet all over the place. So like it or not, Luther had become the face of the Reformation. And thankfully, Luther was bold and audacious enough to be that kind of a figure. How few indeed have the conviction to stand in righteous defiance before authority of any kind, but especially how few would have been able to take that initial first stand that Luther took of standing before the global authority who claimed to have the power to damn souls to hell. But Luther's abrasiveness, it not only caused friction between him and the Catholic Church, it also caused plenty of friction with other evangelicals, as the reformers came to be called, who largely supported Luther in his convictions. 26 years younger than Luther, John Calvin was only 8 years old whenever the 95 Theses were first posted. Therefore, by the time that Calvin stepped into the theological scene, he had the great benefit of already stepping into the work that Luther, Zwingli, Bucer, and many other reformers had already begun. And so thus, he was situated to be a great refiner of the Reformation. And that is exactly what Calvin did. You see, through many of his letters, Calvin continually pressed for greater unity among evangelicals, and even had debates with Catholic theologians, trying to persuade them to come into the evangelical faith. Then, through his sermons, commentaries, tracts, and his most famous work, the Institutes on the Christian Religion, Calvin rigorously shaped the Reformed tradition for all generations to come. And he did so, and this is crucial, by placing his eyes squarely upon the Scriptures. Although many caricatures of Calvin existed during his lifetime and continue to persist today, the most defining element of his life was his absolute devotion to glorify God through his revealed word. So to this aim, Calvin was principally and chiefly a pastor and a teacher of the Bible. So what's the most important thing that we can know about Calvin's life? And so regardless of your previous associations with the legacy of Calvin, he is a voice that should be heard both in terms of historical and theological significance. But since his writing was so voluminous, the question of where to begin is is a very significant one. Now, while any of his sermons, and many of which have been freshly translated and printed into beautiful editions by the Banner of Truth, are certainly worthy of your time, Calvin's little book on the Christian life is probably the best place to begin. The edition that I'll be using as we read through this book is the New Translation by Aaron Dinglinger and Burke Parsons that has been published by Reformation Trust, which is the publishing arm of Ligonier Ministries. And so in their prologue, they give a quick little history of this wonderful booklet that I encourage you to read. But the short of it is that this little book is actually chapters 6 through 10 of Book 3 of the Institutes. However, even within Calvin's lifetime, there was a significant history of publishing this section on its own as a booklet on the Christian life. People quickly saw the value of having it as its own separate little booklet, right? And so containing only 5 short chapters, this booklet can be quickly read through in, I would imagine, less than 2 hours. And yet it is full of biblical insight that begs to be savored slowly and carefully, which is exactly what we aim to do. So the plan is to read through this little book over the course of October, a chapter each week. And you can find the reading plan attached to my blog post about this. So this is a wonderful edition. The edition that Reformation Trust has put out about this little book. It's great to hold. Their typeset is very beautiful. This is a wonderfully put together book, and I am excited to read through it together with you. And so the plan is for next Wednesday. I will have a discussion up about chapter 1, and so sometime in between this Sunday and the next one, if you will read chapter 1 and then dive into that discussion and hopefully share with me your thoughts on chapter 1. Let me know what some of your favorite quotes are from that chapter. Let me know some of your thoughts and your insights that you have, and hopefully we can share those as well. And so until then, till we dive into chapter 1, grace and peace.